not a phone app you guys can go home and download. So you guys should be able to see me in there. So red, orange, and yellow guy. This still might work out for me tonight, even though it's 50-50. That means I'm the hottest thing inside the frame right now. See, it still works. Scott's like, he's like, I got the joke now, damn jerk. You got to see me when there's a bridal party in front of me. Oh my God, like that slays them. Like they're on the ground cracking up. I'm like, guys, get up. We got shit to do. But anyway, so we are looking for those cold spots like Kathy said. So they're going to be blue and black. We're always going to have blue and black in there because glass and windshields and anything of metal is usually going to be cooler than everything else, right? I'm looking for those blue and black areas to either take shape or to start moving on their own. When I say take shape, I want a head, shoulders, moving arms, and legs. That's what I'm looking for out of this guy. And your eyes just got really big, like, oh shit, like this is the real deal. Yes, it is. So with the other piece of this, there's a center crosshairs on there. So Scott's going to be using this because he seems to be the quiet one. We don't need a commentary. He's got the point. See, this is why I have you guys show up early. I always look for kind of like who's going to, heckle me back a little bit. Like we can dish it back and forth. Somebody who's super excited, somebody who's been dragged, and then the quiet one. You guys all fit all the categories. But with that, there's a center crosshairs on there, Scott. So if you want to measure something directly, just move your camera to move the center crosshairs because it will stay stationary in the center of the screen. I'm looking for 15 plus degree temperature drops out of this. So believe it or not, I want to say I wrote down it was like 73 or 75 degrees out here for us. What did I write down? 75. So I'm going to be looking for 60 degrees and colder. So if you find something, I want you to make sure first off that it's not a can on the ground and so forth and so on. So again, this is the start and stop button. You're always going to keep this guy with the camera on your left. Don't handle the camera. It will pop out of there. And I will always give you the cues for starts and stops. I'm here because there's nothing to see. So kind of keep that in mind. When we do separate, because we were going to stay within this area, we're just going to stay away from all the vehicles, and I'll bounce around with you guys to see what's going on with your devices, teach you a little bit more about them individually, and then I bring us back here to give you all of the answers. Speaking of, this is where I start withholding information from all the communication devices on purpose. I'm not going to be giving you questions here like what color is George Washington's white horse, like what we did over there with the big red barn. I do that on purpose so you guys have a genuine experience and you're not always searching for something. And welcome to Saturday nights in Charleston. Yeah, no lights either. Good job. It's okay. We can all just stare at her as she walks out of here. She'll probably go up front, by the way. Or she's probably just turning around. Watch. This is just probably a turnaround spot. But this place used to be something. This used to be the Charles and Eliza Pinckney Mansion. Their mansion used to sit in the front of this space facing East Bay Street. And then Eliza's garden was lined up with Five Church Restaurant over there and came all the way across. And we are standing in the servant and slave quarters for the home. That's why I said it's interesting that you heard the word servant over there. So unfortunately, if we do get anything else relevant to the servants, there is nothing for me to validate what he's hearing. So if he gets names, jobs, anything about these people, there's no records, unfortunately. So let's talk about why we're here. Charles and Eliza had a son named Charles, and they had a nephew named Charles. That's 3 Chucks, in case you guys weren't paying attention. That's why we look for secondary clues. I need to know how to address which Charles is here. You guys get the point. Now, the son and the nephew were signers of the Constitution for South Carolina. Big deal for us, but I hate politics more than all of you combined. We're going to move on. If I do not give those gentlemen that recognition, they will do it for me in a very nasty manner through a spirit box. You guys do not want to hear them pissed off. So we're going to be respectful while we're here, just so you guys know. Now, moving on to Eliza, because she has a much better story anyway. Eliza marries Charles at a young age according to today's standards. I say it slowly like that because if you're going to ask her how old she was when she got married, do not expect numbers from the colonial days from when she came from, when young ladies got married at like 12 and 14. Think of today's standards because the husband was over double her age when they married. It was creepy then, it's creepy now. So, exactly. So, moving on. She married him because her father thought he was dying. He's over in England where she's from. He's trying to bring all of his kids home one last time so he could see him. Eliza didn't believe he was dying. So she stayed put right here, got married. It's 1744. You don't get married in that year to get a green card because we're not a country yet. It's not a thing. This is a true love story, believe it or not. Nothing horrific about this place whatsoever. What did you hear?
Endless love.
What was it?
Endless love.
Oh.
It's not like Eliza doesn't know the story I'm telling you guys. I'm here every night. And this is a staple, and it will remain a staple for the time that I stay here in Charleston. I do change this every year. I tried to take it out. I keep getting drawn back. I'll tell you guys about that later. But anyway, back to Eliza. So where was I? She was, Dad thought he was dying, right? And Eliza didn't believe he was dying, so she stayed put. And then Dad, well, she was correct. Dad didn't die. So he basically starts sending her gifts from England to where we're standing. One of those gifts happens to be the plant seeds of indigo. That's a plant that makes blue dye that makes our blue jeans blue. Some of you guys are wearing it right now. Well, she is anyway. So you guys, the rest of you are not.
I got blue jeans on.
Are they blue?
Yeah.
Oh, they were made with indigo. There you go. You just have more indigo than she does. That's how that goes. Because the more you put in, the darker it gets. But when she got her seeds, she didn't know what to do with them. She had to learn from her servants and slaves how to keep it going. It's not warm here all the time. Then she had to learn how to make the dye, which she did right here, moved it to a cash crop down by the river, and then got a hold of Dad overseas, told him, rice plantations are going downhill, we're going to make a killing with the indigo. And we now have an... Is that the same girl coming back? It is. It's the exact same girl coming back. Yep. Apparently she can't find parking.
She's got her lights on, though. She's improving.
Yeah. Now we have an international businesswoman during colonial days. That is something absolutely unheard of. So, Scott, just so you know, whenever we have folks walking by, just kind of lower it. You don't need to stop it. You just need to lower it. That way they're not, we understand. We're going to have over an hour and a half of footage. We can take a couple of seconds here and there on the ground. Just so they don't get weirded out. So what's going to happen here is I'm going to give you guys kind of focus questions. You can either say these things out loud, or what do you have?
Ethnic? You were talking about international, that's why I thought,
yeah.
Oh. Okay. It just changed, so.
I didn't hit the button.
Yeah, touched your shirt or something. It can be sensitive. I actually had to go back to an older model, just because that was dropped last week, and it actually broke off the charging port. I was like, oh, hopefully I still have one of my older ones still here. So I'm still waiting on my new one to come in. The new one actually gives us a blue dot that bounces around the screen, so we don't have to move the cursor over, the crosshairs over something. It does it for us. So that way, if I find something, you can just hold it steady, and it'll hey, there's a ghost, and it's floating across, and you can see below 60 degrees, something's going across. Huh. So it actually does it all for us.
Huh, that's
wonderful.
Cool.
Hence why I had the upgrade. So I was like, at least I still have this one. Everybody still wants to use a FLIR, not like a phone app. You're the star of the show. What else you got? You're the star of the show. What else do you have so far?
I heard Praise Our Father.
Okay.
25%.
Okay. Still a whole lot of nothing, but he's hearing things. It's good. Breathing. Amazing. 85? 85. Any other numbers on your red meter? And at this point, we've already had the 27. Diet video. Eliza, you know what questions we ask every night, and we brought out a lot of these devices, even though I don't have as many people. Feel free to use any one of them. Let's stick straight to the mansion. Let's keep it nice and simple, and we'll be out of your hair.
Sweet movie.
What did it say?
Sweet movie.
Huh. I got look.
He's trying.
Look where?
I don't know.
Look at you.
Foliage is always going to be colder. You have to point that way a little bit. I'll point that out. See this right here?
Yep.
That's the fern right over there. So foliage is always going to hang on to the cooler air. Imagine that story. Eliza, we want some details, and we'll get out of your hair. You know how this works. We're here for a short amount of time. Sounds like you might need a little bit more of that filter.
Good.
More things for my father, yeah. Yeah, it's not usually wise to hold it directly like a cell phone. Because it does cut in and out.
Yeah.
Well, is there something you want to tell us about Charles? Or Charles, you yourself are here? You got any letters going on? I can hear that thing going off like crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's just all random.
All random. But there's no other number showing up on your other device?
Muscle.
Theology. Woo.
just dropped down to 60 right in that spot, then it went back up.
You were recording, so we would check it out. I would say try to walk closer to that area wherever you thought it was, so you can get a much bigger view of it and kind of see what you got going on.
It looked like there was more of a blue spot there a second ago, but then it's gone.
Yeah, see if you can define. It might just be a cooler part of the lot. Because the ground is all different types of material.
And the wind was just blowing too, so.
Yeah. It's not gonna drop it down to 60 though, not in an open space like that.
$1,000.
Shit, I lost what he had before that. What did you say before that? Theology.
Theology.
Eliza, if you'd like us to leave, you know your code word. Anything else pop up here?
Local congregation.
Eliza, it doesn't seem like you're pushing through hard enough tonight. Give us one or two little things and we'll be on our way. She would have used from the 1700s from England.
Right.
Yeah, so she would have used child.
Right.
And no other numbers for sure. She's only an indicator. Alright guys, let's head to the back and see what we can do. We do have a horse out, Kathy, so we can use that.
I'm sorry?
We have a horse out. EMF, we got all the way up to like a 27.6. During this time of year, we have the honeysuckle, so that'll go away. Then it'll smell like, for some odd reason, we get the smell of peach mist that comes. It's almost like it's like wafting this way. It's so weird. Yeah, definitely hit your record button if you haven't already. Tell me the last couple of terms that you have on the word list. Let's see what we got going on there.
Counter, debt, ever, shrink, aid, historical.
I like counter because he had the phrase change the pace. That's going to make sense here in just a minute. Right around the same time. It was as we were leaving, like into that first alley we cut through. You guys, that probably sounds like it was right around the same time.
Counter was just now. It's actually what's on now.
Oh.
And debt was right before that.
That makes sense here too.
Oh, brimstone.
I don't think I've ever seen that on there.
That was in the midst.
What did he say?
That was in the midst. So let's talk about why we're here. First off, this is Philadelphia Alley now. Your red device on the right is your baseline here is going to be an 8, only because we do have some lampposts near us. They're going to give off a little bit of electricity, so I want to make sure that we have this valid cause paralysis. Wow, that actually makes sense here too. I need more details, Doc. I need to give up more. but this used to be called Dueler's Alley. So this is where some of the duels used to occur for the city of Charleston. And I say some because dueling was illegal. You had to find a hiding spot, which just happened to be one of them. Every ghost tour in Charleston comes here, simply because it's a staple, and they've been telling this story for 50 years. I hate this story, but this guy follows me around, and it's a giant old cliche. And again, when other tours come through here, you're in the perfect spot, by the way. So if they come through, like, looks like he's only got, well, he's got a handful of folks. They may cut through us and go all the way down to the middle. We just kind of split the seas, and we'll let them pass through. You guys will get the point. I don't know how far down he's going to come. He might stop right there. Oh, he's going to stay up there. Good. So we all tell the same story, but I'm going to give you a few extra details because I do the research. That's how this goes. You're ghost hunting, you're not on campfire marshmallow ghost tour like that guy up there. Did I say that out loud? I sure as hell did. Now, a doctor moves down here from Rhode Island. You're going to be looking for the letters R.I. on your Luigi board there for Rhode Island. Now, his name is Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. In the event that he hears the song Brown Eyed Girl while we're here, it is not coincidence. We get it here all the time.
Song what?
Brown Eyed Girl.
Okay.
It's part of his name. We get it all the time. So again, just kind of take that for what it is. Now Doc moves down here because he's supposed to get married to his fiancee Amanda. Amanda just inherited a bunch of money from her dead parents. So she's an attorney helping her out with all of this cash. The attorney thinks that Dr. Ladd is just after Amanda's cash flow. He tells Amanda to get rid of the doctor. He comes here to Charleston to prove that he's not just after her money. So on his way into town, he had a coachman that brought him in that set him up to be robbed and killed. It's kind of like having a really bad Uber driver. So sorry for those of you that are taking an Uber after we're done. Yeah, I know, right? I kind of have to put things in perspective when I have teenagers here because they don't know what the hell a coachman is. So sorry if I'm repeating a lot of things I would give them, but there are jokes to go along with it. That's kind of how I like to work. But anyway, this coachman set him up to be robbed and killed, and it wasn't a good start. And somebody's walking by and seeing what was about to happen. That guy walking by, his name was Ralph Isaacs. He has the same initials as Rhode Island. That's why we bought this device. We were getting RI all the time on a regular spare box, so I bought this one, so make sure we can actually have the solidification from it. You guys are getting the point. We've had it about half a dozen times in the year I've had that device, whenever I bring up Ralph's name. But anyway, Ralph tells the doc, I know the guy, the coachman. He's going to try to kill you. Come with me. We're going to go to 59 Church Street. I have friends there. You'll rent a room. You'll be safe. Doc took him up on the offer, and the two gentlemen became friends. And the longer the doctor stays here, the more money he's making. He's proving his point. He's not after Amanda's money.
At 10 o'clock.
She gets wind of this. It might have been the time of the actual duel. We don't know. There's no record of it. Because again, it's illegal. And we usually get the word Tuesday here too. So if he gets Tuesday and he's not listening to me right now, we all get the point. But anyway, so where was I? Amanda knows that he's earning his own money, and she's coming down so they can be married. Dr. Ladd then became known as the Whistling Doctor. Another reason why I hate this story is because it's a giant cliche. Every haunted city you will ever visit is going to have a cliched whistling ghost, I promise you. We all have one. Ours just happens to be a doctor. See, they're whistling already. So we're going to let these folks pass through.
So do I.
What's the word on your screen right now?
Right before that, it said after me.
I did it. It's spare board spot thing. Got a cap too.
Oh,
You got something to go.
This is actually like an event. I do this every night. So like I hand out equipment and we get to work. So I'm trying to give them the history of what's going on over here. That's okay. So
before that, it said after me.
oh, so she came down here after he did. Okay, I'm trying to see where that's going somewhere.
Yeah.
It's vague.
Yeah, after me.
Okay, gotcha.
And now it says heaven.
So every ghost tour will tell you to listen for the whistles while you're down here. Again, we have a voice recorder plus obviously the camera with the audio, so if we're going to capture a disembodied whistle, more than likely it will show up there. We'll talk more about these whistles in just a minute. Let's get back to why we're in Dueler's Alley. Dr. Ladd and Ralph go see plays together. They can't sit next to each other because the doctor makes more money. He gets better seats. That's the hierarchy of Charleston. So they go see Richard III one night, and on their way home, they're arguing over the actress they just saw. He did hear the word performance, or the word performance showed up somewhere between the two of you. But anyway, they're arguing, and the doctor thought the new actress was great. Ralph didn't. The argument turns into Ralph insulting the doctor's fiancée, Amanda, back home in Rhode Island. It got really ugly. They go their separate ways. So Ralph has friends around town, as you already know. He goes to the newspaper and places an ad telling the whole city of Charleston what he thinks of the doctor. Did you just say Ole in Hell?
Holly Hill.
Holly Hill. Oh, yeah, that's a city around here. So,
Identical.
which, again, Doc saw the ad in the paper about what Ralph said about him, and he rebutted with, let's just go to Dueler's Alley. We're going to settle this, and somebody's going to die. Keep in mind that this argument started over an actress. Pretty dumb shit, right? So, they go back to back, 10 paces away. Again, change the pace. You guys are seeing where that's coming from, and the word counter. And they turned. Doc points his gun in the air and shoots his one bullet. He didn't want to shoot his friend. He just wanted to have the courage to show up to the fight, which is often what happens at a duel. But Ralph has his one bullet. He puts it in the kneecap on the doctor. Doc didn't die. He fell to the ground. His friends picked him up, took him home to 59 Church Street. He died 10 days later, November 2nd of 1786, after refusing medical treatment. Let me explain. It's 1786. Gunshot wounds were a lot different back then than what they are now. He probably didn't think he needed a doctor because he is one. So he probably also thought that he just had lead poisoning and tried to bleed it out himself, but obviously he failed because he died. He was 22 years old, and everybody that comes down here tells you to listen for the whistles. So I will also tell you that on the Red Spirit box, it's not that we haven't gotten the whistling part of a song, and then the word doctor shows up immediately after. Look at that save! Look at you!
Thomas. I thought you said Thomas over there.
I did.
Yeah.
We're a little far away because
Yeah.
he's not even buried nearby. Like, there's nothing of Thomas Pinckney in our relation, unless he had
Yeah.
a duel down here that I don't know of.
Maybe.
So, again, no record of it that I
Yeah.
can think of. I would have caught on to that.
It doesn't often pop up with a name, so I
Yeah.
was like, oh.
Yeah, names and numbers usually don't lie. That's why I was taking all his 1-1s and 5-5s kind of stuff. I was
Yeah.
kind of like, we got something going on here. But again, if you're going to try this on your own without me, because I can't take you all the way through this alley, okay? I'll explain why, because I've actually been kicked out of here. But if you're going to walk all the way through with your voice recorders, just remember every local knows the story. You just heard them gentlemen walking through here whistling. Anybody that walks up and down Cumberland or Queen Street, we all throw a whistle down the alley. So just kind of keep that in the back of your mindset. And here's how I got thrown out of here. Here's the fun part. He's going to fall asleep in that thing. You watch. Now, this alley didn't always go all the way through the way we came in. There used to be a wall halfway between where we're standing and Cumberland Street. The reason why is this used to be called Cow Alley before Dueler's Alley. This is where they kept the livestock for the city of Charleston. What does that mean for you guys? The bricks down on the other end by Queen Street are older than the ones you're standing on. Those bricks are sun-dried bricks from slave children. There's a full handprint from a slave child down there, and fingerprint swipes and others. I used to take my groups all the way through here for a history lesson. There's nothing paranormal about that. Again, you guys already know how I feel about cemeteries. That kid's not there. It's the last place you're going to find him. November 26th of 2020, I took my entire group down there, told them we're just going to keep walking. I'll point out where it is. Keep going. They all stopped. They're huddled around that damn brick waiting for something to happen, not listening to me at all. So I'm trying to hurry them along because I'm also trying to be respectful to the beautiful mansion at the end of the alley. We're outside his kitchen window. He comes out because he sees us, and he's pretty pissed off. My daughter was on a tour that night, and she thought it was hysterical that her father was getting yelled at. So we moved on after he'd done all whatever he needed to say, and the next day was Thanksgiving. I don't tour on Thanksgiving because I used to work in upper management for Walmart, and you guys like to fight over towels on Thanksgiving. You've scarred me for life. I will never forget Thanksgiving in my life. So the next day was the 28th. The dates are relevant, I promise. I called my partner that I had at the time that brought me into tourism, away from retail, and I told him what happened, and he laughed his ass off just like my daughter did and said, dude, you're not allowed to go down that far. You can only go down halfway. Otherwise, it's considered residential. You have to stay out of there that time of night. Reroute your group. I told my group that night because it's Black Friday. I'm sold out again. I told them I don't believe in the next story because I've never had anything happen over there. I'm a vampire guy. I'm not into pirates. Obviously, we're discussing pirates next. And before we left, somebody with a spirit box heard the name Anne. I didn't tell them which pirate we were going to be looking into. The female pirate, Anne Bonny. I was kind of like, oh shit, maybe we'll get something. We get over there, I told them what little bit I did know about pirates, and somebody else heard the number 300. I don't know what it means, I wrote it down. Again, I don't know much about pirates here in Charleston, I'm all about all the other history. We were there November 28th of 2020, and Bonnie's trial for piracy was November 28th of 1720, the exact 300-year anniversary of her pirate trial.
Wow.
I normally get the wows and that kind of shit like that.
736.
I was actually quite pissed off. Let me explain. I have a master's degree in creative writing. I write all kinds of things, fiction and non. And when I'm doing any kind of research, especially for ghost hunting, I need facts and data. Pirate stories come from pirate lore, which was written 100 years after the golden age of piracy, if you know anything about the pirate lore, right? So that means when you guys find something, I have to read a shit ton of books to kind of validate what's actually going on. I've already done that over the past 4 years, and trust me, my pirate knowledge at this point is probably better than my vampire knowledge. So where we're going, again, it's a 50-50 roll of the dice if she'll be there. I'll explain why we're there, but the story's pretty kick-ass. passion. Yes, it is lots of passion over there for sure. A female pirate bouncing around all those captains. Yeah, plenty of passion, I'm sure. So, any numbers that I need to know about? Any letters? Anything crazy going on? Any other words that I need to know about?
Followed.
I'm gonna write down the word passion for sure. What was it?
Watch.
There was an A and a V after it, but I don't know what Amanda was.
I don't either. It's unknown.
I got wish, between, and watch.
He said what? 8736, and the last thing he just said was passion. Thank you. I can remember crazy numbers like 8736 from 10 minutes ago, but I can't remember the word passion from 30 seconds ago. Just kind of how my brain works. So we're going to go up and around the corner, so you can keep your camera rolling if you want to. We're going to stay out of the way of the other ghost tours. It's a popular area for other tours because there's like 15 stories on that corner. Nobody else is discussing Anne Bonny, trust me, when we get around that corner. So you can definitely listen in along the way, just so you know we're going to be in between that space. Again, I'm excited about Counter here, change the pace. Like normally we don't hear a lot from Doc Ladd until we get over there. And he will show up at our last stop too. You guys will see that one for sure. We'll be near that 59 Church Street. Again, places of emotion. Kind of see where things like this stuff creep through. Any other major questions about duels that I might be able to answer? I know it's a weird alley. By the way, this is the most beautiful spot in all of Charleston, in my opinion. This was the space I was going to take out of my route this year. Again, I change this every year, but the guy keeps following me around. It doesn't matter if I'm going to the next space, he's going to show up. If I go to the last space, he's going to show up. So I might as well go to his origin and just keep him in the route. During the week, there is one extra added space because we need almost complete silence from the city. Because we do use a crazy voice recorder with headphones, and it is crazy loud. So if there's weddings going on and craziness on a Friday and Saturday, I just don't do it on Friday and Saturday. Not that I'm like doing a tease, like, hey, come and see me on a Sunday. We'll kind of go to one extra spot, but that thing is crazy loud, and it'll ruin the recording if there's other things going on. Even like too much wind, I'm like, yeah, we can't do it. Because again, it's a live EVP session, and it's a murder mystery. It's fun, but again, I don't have all the answers to it yet anyway, so it's kind of like, yeah, we'll do it intermittent now this year. Now this year. All right. Oh, he's actually heard something about finger. Didn't he have something?
Yeah, what was the finger?
I say stuff and then forget that I
Yeah,
said it.
he's trying. That's usually how that works because they continue to, he's just gonna repeat it as we go.
And I have organic, but I don't think that.
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah.
We do get the word cow down here a lot because this used to be called cow for the whistles, apparently. All right, let's go learn about rated R pirates. You guys ready for this? Nobody got my dad joke. Do I have to take it one level up? Rated R. R. He got it 2 minutes too late. So, if the letter R is not a pirate's favorite letter, then what is? Wow, blank faces. It must be the C.
No.
Oh,
That's terrible.
it is terrible. That's why I tell it. And when my daughter's on the tour, she punches me in the arm every time I do a dad joke. Quit doing that shit, man. Somebody actually answered one night with not C, but they said, "Aye." I'm like, that one's even worse. Right, yeah.
Funeral.
Huh. Hey.
Shut up. These are really slippery. Watch where you're going.
Yeah, big gnarly tree root there too. Big gnarly tree roots too to trip over.
Yeah. Grandpa.
What?
Grandpa.
What do you got? Anything?
I got funeral, grandpa, Olympic, shuttle.
Did we hear anything? No need to fear.
It was mostly like
Back in the day.
radio, you know,
Yeah.
like, but not anything I could discern.
Okay. Yeah, it's going to be less clear where it's coming from the DJ that we want.
Yeah.
So even if it's something, all the silly things like what he's got going on, it could be the exact same thing.
Missed it.
So we have this stop, and then our last stop will be a lot different than what we really. So the last stop, we're going to be going to Washington Park, and what we're going to be doing there is an Estes show. Are you guys familiar with this? You guys have watched TV shows? Yeah, let's go ahead and put you on mute. So you might want to listen in on this because you're going to be definitely a part of it. Okay. So we're going to be taking. No, I'm getting your guys' names mixed up. Drew, right? Okay. I had you guys mixed up for just a second in my brain. We're going to take Drew and we're going to blindfold him, and he is going to be channeling our ghost. And I'm going to be asking him questions. He's obviously not going to be able to hear me, and hopefully he's also not going to know the history of the location, kind of the same way he's been doing it all night long. I'm sorry. What was it?
Excited
Excited to have blindfolds?
for his role.
Super excited.
Okay. Then we're going to take Scott, and we're going to give him a virtual reality headset, and he is going to have a phone in there that's going to create images from artificial intelligence using the EMF readings from around us. So it's going to translate it and give you a weird image. I don't know what the images are going to be because it's different every single time. Hopefully what this is going to look like is a conversation between me and Drew, and then you're going to actually have supplemental pieces that are going to add into that conversation. So that ghost will communicate either way or together. So you guys will see how this works. Now, neither one of you are going to know the history or who we're hunting down. I want you to be completely in the dark. I will take the ladies 10 feet away, and I will teach them what's going on, so that way they can watch it unfold when we actually come back to the bench. So I haven't done this with just gents on the bench for a while.
Right.
So we're going to see how this goes. This gentleman doesn't always react to having a female put there based on the time period that he came from. So I was kind of like, oh, we can actually test this out tonight because it's actually a nice balance. So this is actually going to work out really well. So when we get over there, you will give me your spirit box, obviously the loud one, because you're going to be obviously filming while because I'm not going to give them the history tonight. They're going to have to wait for either the video or the audio when they get it back. You guys will be able to tell them on your way back to your hotels if this was a legitimate thing or not, but I will always be honest with you. I'm not going to be like, okay, we had nothing, kind of like what we did at the Pink Dimension site, but you guys will see how that works. So welcome to the Powder Magazine. So we're going to be discussing that little tiny building that's up there. I will breeze through this because there's a lot of information here. Those are not crosses on the building, by the way. Those are earthquake bolts. If you're not familiar with what those are, they're basically turnbuckles. If we have another earthquake like what we did in 1886, which we have not, you can turn the turnbuckles and it tightens the building so it doesn't incur in further any damage anymore. It's a great idea, it just doesn't work. So most of our buildings around town have them, including the apartment building behind it. So it's on every single floor. So again, and it's on all four sides actually. So if you really think about it, if they're going to tighten those up, it's going to squeeze the building on the four corners, just making it look like an accordion. I'm not going to have them repeat those. I did get this 8637 or whatever that number was we had earlier. I wrote them down. I'm going to look those up, see if it goes with the date. But anyway, those big cross ones, that's part of the reason why we're here. That's because that's the first set of earthquake bolts that Charleston ever put in. That's because that's the oldest government building here in South Carolina. It was finished in 1713.
That one right there.
Yep, the little tiny building up there.
What?
Yep, 1713. So it's over 300 years old. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
We are here because that building was being constructed at the same time Anne Bonny was coming here to start her new life.
42.
This is what I call a familiar. So with a familiar, think of, well, you guys, not all of you watch the TV shows. There's a new device out there called a Boo Buddy. It's basically a teddy bear with the little blinky
Oh,
light.
yes.
I've
Yeah,
seen
we've
that.
seen that.
Now
Yeah.
they use that to attract a child ghost, to try to get them to try to come closer. Now they do that because the child would recognize it as a toy, right? I want you to think of that concept with the building. We don't have many buildings this old here in South Carolina, let alone in Charleston. Hopefully she's going to be here at the same time we are. It's a big roll of the dice. Remember, we can also get
Still
blade over
listening.
from Dr. Ladd. So let's kind of get into the history of this. Like I said, there's a couple of
Who
twists.
gets inside?
I will slow down on the twist because that way I need you guys to make sure you grab them so you know how this
Right.
actually works. This is a pretty weird tale. So 1708. Young lady moves here from Ireland. Her name is Anne Cormac. She comes here with her father and his mistress. The mistress is Anne's mother. You guys with me so far? Okay, the three of them are running away from her father's angry wife. How pissed off was that wife that she kicked them out of the damn country by boat? There's no plane jet in 1708. So normally what I tell the gents is be nice to your ladies because they'll take you all the way up to Canada by plane. Yeah, right? Much easier way to go. But anyway, they landed in Georgetown. That's between us and Myrtle Beach, about 90 minutes north of here. Dad bought a plantation up there, and then Mom died pretty quickly, short after. So that means Dad is now sending young Anne down here to Charlestown to sell things from the plantation to keep things afloat. Now, back home in Ireland, we're going to take a step backwards for just a second. They say Anne was a badass even when she was back home in Ireland. 7, 8, 9 years old. They say she killed a servant with a knife to the belly. Did he just say 10 in a row? Just counted for us, didn't it? 7, 8, 9, and he said 10 in a row. That's kind of odd. Sorry, he missed that whole thing. Look at the blank face.
Wow.
I love it. Okay, now you want to know what the hell's going on.
What?
So I was actually saying that Anne, and this is relative to you, that I just said when she was 7, 8, 9 years old, she killed a servant. As soon as I said 9, you said 10 in a row. So it's almost like you finished the counting for us. So, very interesting. Fast forward. The building's done in 1713. By 1715, pirates are starting to come through Charlestown. Anne's pretty stoked. The reason why, she's going to fall in love with one of these guys so she can earn her freedom, just like a man. It's a man's world during these days. And the first guy she fell in love with, I say first slowly because there's a good handful of these gents. We're going to talk about every single one of them. That's what makes the story so damn good. First guy is James Bonny. You already know where this one's going. I've already told you her pirate name. Dad didn't approve. He's a filthy pirate. They ran away to Jamaica. They got married. Anne Cormac then became Anne Bonny. However, they get down there and she realizes her new husband is not the Captain Jack Sparrow that she was hoping for. This guy turns out to be a privateer. That makes him a coward. He's a spy for the British. This isn't who she wants. She falls in love again. Guy number 2. I'll keep track for you, just so you know. John Rackham. Everybody calls him Calico Jack. This is the guy they based your Johnny Depp character off of, in case you guys were wondering. Jack has his own crew. He has his own ship. Anne wants to be part of that crew and ship. You can't put a female on a pirate ship. Does anybody know why? Thank you for keeping that family friendly. I get some really nasty answers out of that one. And he was like, I'm not even answering that. Now, he makes a deal with her. If you dress like a guy and look like my crew, you can be part of the crew. She's okay with this. The reason why is Dad used to cross-dress her as a boy apprentice back home to hide her from his wife. You guys get the point. So, again, it's weird. It's a man's world. But she is a female in his quarters. Let's put 2 and 2 together. She's eventually going to get pregnant. You can't have a pregnant pirate dude on the crew. Somebody's going to figure out she's a girl. And then they're going to get rid of Jack as captain. Before she starts to show her pregnancy, he drops her off in Cuba. Go have the baby here. These are friends of mine. Come back later. We'll figure it out. She goes and has that baby, returns with no baby. We have no idea what happened to the child. None of my research has ever discovered it. So, she also comes back dressed as a female. This makes Jack pretty pissed off. Now everybody's going to know he let a girl on the ship to make him even more mad, because you already know what type of girl this young lady she is. She's going to go flirting with the pirate crew he just captured. By the way, clapping at the end of a tour is the cheesiest thing you can ever do. And that's how you know those people did not have a good time, that they're trying to show good courtesy. Did I say that out loud? Sure as hell did. And you're like laughing because you deal with these tours like this all the time. So, anyway, flirting with the pirate crew down below deck, we're on guy number 3. Guy number 3 turns out to be a female, dressed like a male, to be part of the pirate crew that Calico Jack already captured. So now we have 2 females, dressed like pirates, you guys get the point. Now, her name is Mary Reed. She went by Mark Reed to become a pirate. His interruptions are killing me. I love it. Just because he's so, like, focused.
So into it, yeah.
Like he's just staring at the church. Like, what do we got? What do we got? Anyway, her and Mary became friends, maybe lovers. We're not really sure because of the time frame. But the British find out where they are. They send a whole fleet of Navy ships to come take down one pirate ship. The rumor is that Anne and Mary were the only 2 pirates. are the only two pirates not drunk enough to come up and fight with their one-bullet flintlocks because they don't know how to use cannons yet. They haven't been pirates for very long. So, obviously, two ladies with one-bullet guns cannot take on a whole fleet of ships. They get arrested. As they're being arrested, she looks at her bow and captain, Jack, and says, "Sorry to see you here, but if you would have fought like a man, you wouldn't be hanged like a dog." The word dog shows up all the time on the communication devices. I don't know if he has said that yet, but it will more than likely show up. I would say at least 3 out of 7 nights a week. The judge wants to see the two quote-unquote men that fought back so violently on their own. He's already tried and hung Calico Jack and the drunk pirates that wouldn't fight. They're dead and gone. The two ladies go in front of the judge, reveal their gender, hoping to save themselves. The judge could give a shit if they are female. They are still pirates. He is going to hang them. "We plead our bellies," was what they shouted back to the judge, because you can't hang a pregnant woman in 1720. It's illegal. He sends them both back to jail, delays the hanging. Dad is still up here in South Carolina with all of his Irish money. He bails out Anne and brings her home, and she remarries. That's husband number 2, but guy number 4, because we're going to count Mary. We don't really know. She has 4 kids and dies at the age of 84.
He just said one guy.
I heard that.
Yeah.
That's why I slowed down. I was kind of like, what did he just say? So, 2 husbands, 4 lovers that we know of. Mary Reed died 5 months later in that Jamaican jail from whatever pirates died from in a Jamaican jail. Use your imagination. I'm not going to control this environment like what I did over at the Pinckney Mansion site. You can ask whatever the hell you want to in here. Here are a few things I left out just to get you started. I did not tell you the names of Anne Bonny's parents, the father, the mistress. I did that on purpose, so you have something to work with. The name of the city she grew up in Ireland. That one comes up from time to time. The name of Calico Jack's ship, and the color of Anne Bonny's hair. Everything else is fair game. Again, we don't have to tiptoe around the prominent English woman like we do with Miss Pinckney back there. We're talking about a kick-ass female. If you brought a bottle of rum and you smoke tobacco, you're probably going to attract her to you. Have a good time. So we are going to spread out in here. Obviously, the powder magazine is what's attracting her. You already kind of know what's going on with your EMF. Do you have anything I need to know about with your Ouija board device? Okay.
Get it done.
Anything on your word list?
I got industrial,
Okay.
roof, constraint, pen, association, and
$25.
waste.
I like roof. I want to wait for something else because that'll explain the roof of why that's shaped that way.
It was on roof for a long time too.
Yeah, if it shows up, I'll let you know.
Okay.
So, it's not always. I don't always talk about the architecture of that building because it's not always relevant to ghosts. But if we have soldiers here that were guarding it, obviously that can happen from time to time. Most of the psychics that come on my tour will normally see a soldier standing over there, and they always say the exact same uniform: blue pants, white shirt.
Thumbs up.
And if you really think about that, that's the wrong type of soldier, like from the Civil War. So
Right.
We'd have to go
Who
further
is
back than that. It's
supposed
probably
to be
more than likely
missing
French and Indian,
Yeah.
just depending on what's going on. But they all see the same damn ghost.
Really?
Yep, all of them.
Wow.
If they're legit, I know that they will see him. He's always here, and he's never happy that I'm here. But hopefully Anne is, and hopefully we get shit from Dr. Ladd as well. So yeah, let's spread out. Let's get to work. Have you been recording the whole time?
Yes.
Awesome. Good deal. All right, let's do this. You guys got the whole space to yourselves. Look at all the cars left us. I love it. Doesn't always happen on a Saturday night. There's 1 or 2 lingering.
Friendly. Like a friendly ghost?
Get you under your hair, Kathy. I want to
Yeah.
make sure you guys are getting a couple of things out of that. Again, it's the little building what attracts me as much as
Blue 24-4. There's no. Middle. 7. Don't waste your time.
It's actually a museum now.
Oh, okay.
So, like, if you wanted to learn about
Readers
the
from around the
architecture
world.
that it served, like, it's a great $5 ticket. It's good for you. You can see on back even fold the thing like that in your food.
Look at this building. It's really interesting.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Hi.
Construction of it was already lost.
Spent.
I get teenagers on this and they get more than insights every time. Until things start to pop up, like the word roof. I'm waiting for something else to pop up so I can show you like how that actually works because there's something very specific about that roof that isn't on any other building in Charleston. That's what's weird is that's normally the key word that we show up.
control. Under control. Feel like it's all there.
That's what I said. But it was right after you talked about the soldier over here. It popped up from that.
Their Instagram. Country.
There's a lot that goes. Just telling Tori, there's a lot about this building. I just don't always discuss it because the teenagers that I get.
75 years old.
I do see a lot. Because they all watch Sam Cole, which is a YouTube group that does this, but they make it theatrical. So they all come here and think that it's going to be a theatrical thing. It's not.
They in my mind.
Anything on this, really. And I'm having trouble like discerning anything.
Well, it's another reason why I always pair it up with a camera, because if you do miss something, which you may have, it's going to be on your audio. So that way when you guys watch your video, you'll be able to, like, oh, that was the spirit box. We did hear that word. That was almost like a hi, how you doing?
Take advice.
I'm going to speed his up on
Coming
the
up.
over there. He's giving me way too much. He's hearing that constant. Like, there's no break. Like, what we have silence right now, there's no silence.
I don't know how he's doing that.
Normally, if I get called to another paranormal team, it's because of what I'm able to do with those. So I can listen to them on any speed, blindfold test. I usually ask, like, don't tell me any of the history, so that way you guys have validation for things. Or if we come up with something new,
Stick around.
I usually record everything so I can write everything down that was said, and that way I can kind of go back and see what's stuck. Like, what did I have to say? You know, did we learn something new?
Throw out.
So he's just almost too good at this.
Atlanta Braves.
Control again.
She's got the word control. He's had that, like, he had
Couple
it
of
here
times.
and back over at the Pinckney Mansion.
And I've had it before too.
On the word list?
I think so. A little while back.
Go. I say rain. Breakthrough.
Oh, maybe not.
I know he had control over there.
Yeah.
And he had under control just a minute ago as I was
Yeah.
walking this way.
No, I didn't have it. I thought I had. Oh, I had constraint. That's what I was thinking about. Yeah, I got. As we were walking over here, funeral, settled, grandpa, Olympic. It was like, and we were walking down that street, and I got funeral. I was like, maybe it's a funeral home or something. Constraint. That's what I was thinking of. And control. Track.
Inside.
Yeah, see, I don't know if I'm good at this. I'm not good at
Today.
catching it.
In Charleston.
Oh, drill.
Another. Greater.
You want to walk around a little?
At work or with your kids.
Let me see your spirit box.
Hmm?
Careful.
I got my sock fell down and it's like driving me crazy. So I want to put this down for a second so I can fix it. You get anything?
Never. I haven't seen anything all night.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hello, is there anyone here? Anyone want to talk? Is the soldier here? Is the soldier here?
What was that?
Yes.
Where are you?
Can you show yourself on the camera? Are you still here? Did you guard that building? What's on the building? Is there a cross? It's got 9.
9?
Yeah, 9.
9?
9.
At least we heard something. Come back.
Huh?
I said come back.
Come back?
Mm-hmm.
See, he's got.
I do this for a living here. I mean, I'm not bragging or anything, but I am going to be better at it. I listen to these every day.
Oh, don't blink.
Oh boy. Told you, it's going to put in some of those scary
That's
bullshit
weird.
things. And sometimes it'll say, Daddy, no. You know, like stupid stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's meant to try to scare you.
Don't blink.
But if you notice, 95% of those terms could not be a scary thing.
Yeah, right. So I got drill, standard, complete, and don't blink.
I couldn't tell you. I can't even make up a story out of that.
Yeah, I know. I just said don't blink. That's funny.
I slowed, or I quickened his up like 2 extra speeds, and to try to slow him down a little bit.
Oh.
Like on your TV shows, it seems like you guys watch some of them.
Sometimes,
They
yeah.
normally go straight to the fastest speed, and that's what, when people buy a spirit box, that's what they automatically do instead of training their ear to listen to it in a slower mode first, so you can identify radio chatter versus what's an actual, disembodied voice. So when a disembodied voice comes through, you know. Like, it is definitely different than the radio chatter that comes through.
Yeah.
Especially for his, like, we have the recording, so I can slice it out of there, put it in software, and count how many radio stations did it go over. Like, I have EVPs along with 14 radio stations. We know that that is not radio chatter.
Wow.
So,
Under table. There's no tables here.
nope,
Were they paid under the table?
maybe.
Donation.
Stolen
under the
donation. Damn pirates.
donation under the table.
We're just gonna take this as a donation. Kind of it that
Donation
way.
under the table. Maybe this is political.
You have a little political on there?
No, I said
Oh.
maybe it is political. Donation under the table. That's
Exactly. And nothing crazy on the cam.
He's got nothing.
Nothing, no shapes or anything.
And with 2 out of the 3 cameras that I have with my fuller groups, I don't always follow up with the small ones because I send them to YouTube so I can watch them on my computer, and you guys are going to watch them on your TV. So that's the reason why I haven't asked you, like, hey, what have you got going on? First off, you haven't screamed anything other than, hey, that might have been like 60 degrees in the middle of the lot. I don't know. By the way, were you able to debunk that? Was it still 60 when you went over there?
No.
No?
I didn't see anything. I think it was my bad eyesight.
Oh?
Oh, it was a dark something or other.
Yeah. You
The
saw
only
it
thing
too?
I was thinking is I didn't know if it was like a manhole or something and it was a little cooler or
Maybe.
something.
The
don't
manhole
remember
there
seeing
is
any-
near the entrance, like where we came in, where that
Yeah,
girl
we
was
were
driving
over
in.
the other end.
Yeah, there
It's
wasn't
the
a
only
manhole
manhole cover in there.
there. Okay.
So where he was pointed at, I mean, yeah, the ground over there has mud, gravel, dirt.
Yeah.
They're all different temperatures. So could something have been 60 degrees? Possibly. I don't see that happening. It's not going to vary that much. So I want to definitely take a look at the video to see if maybe that 60 degree something moved around. I reckon. 80. It did. Kind of give us another minute to see if she's going to show herself. There's no signifiers at all for piracy. Any pirates here right now, which is weird. Sometimes we get that lead over from Doc. There's like 12 other stories around here. Like we get lead over about something, but he's giving us so much. I had to tone him down. Tori, you got anything going on? Old. I wanted nothing. Nothing at all. Man, this is a light night. Nothing. Every time we laugh, it's because what you just said is relevant to something we just said.
Really weird.
But that's light for me. Unless it makes sense.
Well, he said it's a really light night, and then you said nothing.
There's nothing going on. It's just a light night. Just one more term and see what we get out of this before we wrap this one up.
Clothes, where?
Like wear clothes?
No, like where? W-H-E-R.
To the wall. We're going to let this couple kind of just cut through, and then we're going to wrap this one up, because again, I don't feel like you guys have given me anything to really solidify that we have a pirate here tonight. Or even, like, I'm still like, what's going on with these other pieces? Oh, by the way, the other word I was looking for the word roof is the word sand. We do get sandy from time to time. The reason why is because there is sand underneath the shingles. The reason why is because the walls are 4 foot thick. It's got gunpowder inside. Well, it did. So if it gets hit from a cannonball and explodes, the explosion's gonna go up. It's not gonna go out the 4 foot thick walls. So the sand is supposed to go up with it and then fall to put out the fire of the gunpowder.
Oh, brilliant.
That doesn't work either.
No.
But we had another powder magazine closer to the battery, much closer to the water. It did get hit, the sand went up, the building burned to the ground. It no longer exists. Now, the sand for this building is still there. When they turned this into a museum, they actually fixed a few of the shingles up there, and they realized sand doesn't disintegrate. So it is still sitting up there from early 1700s.
Wow. Really interesting.
I know, right? You think they'd like bottle it up and start selling that shit. It's kind of like getting shit from the Fountain of Youth, right? All right, so let's head over towards the wall so I can set the bag down, and I'll tell you about the answers, and we'll get the hell out of here. Because again, obviously, it's gonna help.
What? Yikes.
Now, do you guys remember the September? I'm not sure when it is now. Just moved to the back like I always do, stay out of the way of the other tours. And the kid next to me, he's like 21, 22 years old. He starts to faint. I have to pick him up by his armpit so he doesn't hit his head on the ground. His boyfriend picked him up from the other side of him, and we brought him over here to this wall. And you can actually stop your recording at this point. Now we know about this. Over here, he could be the last stop during that time. So I told the story of Ann Bonnie and spread everybody out. He was feeling better, but they still remained seated. The two guys, they pulled me aside and basically told me that they were two transgender males. They were two females dressed like males, just like Anne and Mary in the story.
Oh.
Yeah. So now you can see where, like, I see some weird shit. It's still unexplainable, but it did make sense at that point. So kind of keep those things in mind. Like, I do see a lot of different people, and psychics and mediums, I make sure that they don't get a headphone spirit box because I don't want to interrupt what they already have going on. If they're already getting messages, I'm going to try to utilize it and give them devices like what I gave Tori. So that way they can be participating in multiple ways. So again, it wasn't a scary tactic. Like, it's a real thing for me, guys. First time somebody passed out on one of my tours, oh my god, I freaked the hell out. The next day I was in CPR class, like learning what I needed to. So it was like, what the hell did I sign up for here? But I was already ghost hunting. I guess I just wasn't expecting like everyday general public people to have like that kind of effect. So I was actually telling Corey, like, I've had people with the blindfold test like hyperventilate. I've had seizures occur. Like I'm very cautious with like how we choose who's going to actually go under with the blindfold. Obviously, I feel like he's going to tough it out no matter what happens because he's just going to power through it. So let's talk about the quick answers for Anne Bonnie. Yes, exactly. And then one of the few pictures of Anne Bonnie that you can find where she actually has a shirt on. The reason why is she used to bare her breast to show men that they were just shot by a woman and about to die by the hand of a woman. I told you she was pretty badass. So obviously her hair color is red. She's from Cork, Ireland, Cork County. And if you ask what city she came from, she's corrected us a few times and says the word county. Like painful. And then the names of her parents: William Cormac, Mary Brennan. This was not another subliminal trick with the name Mary. We just have two in the story. Now Mary Brennan, just so you you will tap him on the leg when we're done. That means you take off your own gear. Obviously, I will never touch you. A lot of times I get ladies here. I want to make sure, like, that's fair. You get the point. Take off your own gear. If you're too loud, she's going to tap you on the shoulder. Quiet your ass down. We have neighbors. We don't want to piss them off. So I have a feeling you might get a little escalated. So just kind of be prepared for those taps. So I'm going to, blindfold first, and I will start the timer as soon as you start talking. So headphones. And as soon as you hear things, just start talking. It is 11:01, so I will take this from you for just a second. And go. Henry Timrod, I'm setting everything up for you to come and talk to us. We're going to start things off like we always do, and we are going to ask about your occupation. You ever done virtual reality before? So this is basically going to be, you're going to see a galaxy off in the distance, like where my hand is, and then an image, like a photograph, will appear in front of it. And you're going to tell us what that image looks like. Last night's real quick. So that we're not interfering with you. 3-6. And this is not like a 3D world where it's going to be like a dinosaur eating your face off kind of stuff. Like, it's off in the distance. All you'll have to do is look straight ahead and just describe what you see in very short terms. 2 men on a bench with a tree. He can't hear you. So obviously, if he's quiet like what he is right now, and you just told me about 2 men on a bench, I'm going to ask you what they're wearing and probe them questions. So just again, just try to keep it simple because I have a feeling he's going to give us a lot. Henry, we're still asking about your occupation. Yes. Can you tell us about what you did for a living? How are we doing? Wow, full-blown conversation with this guy. Henry, tell us what you did for a living. The goal is. Just try not to look down in there because you will hit virtual buttons and kind of mess up the settings a little bit, and it will align with you once you get everything on and you look straight ahead for about 5 seconds. Henry? Drew and Scott, I don't always have gentlemen sitting here. Thought this might help you out a little bit. Tell us about your occupation. We're using the green box tonight too, so you can give us images. Get close to the green box. The beach? You do not go to the beach for a living. What did you do for work, Henry? I won. By the way, the answer can come up here if I'm not getting it out of here.
I got war and difficult.
You want to talk about the war? Let's talk about the war, Henry. Let's get straight into it. Okay. What did you do about the war when you came back home? How did you inform everybody what was going on out there? Worst thinkers. Oh. Henry? Henry, let's not let Scott go to sleep in there. Give him some images to see. Tell us about the war. Show us imagery from it. We're okay with it. We're all adults here. No teenagers sitting in this bench tonight. Found it. Henry, Dr. Ladd came with you. Tell him to give us his code word so we know that he's here.
Wisconsin?
Anybody here from Wisconsin? No.
All I'm seeing is a bunch of like orange.
Yeah, that's the galaxy in the
Yeah.
distance. And you might not see any. We've had other nights where we've had 12.
Love.
The average is about 4.
In.
Henry, we have the word war. I want you to talk about that. Let's go straight into that. We're going to stay focused on the war. You can tell us which war you fought in and what you did about it.
Time.
Do you want to tell us what time frame you were
This
there?
night.
What time frame were you in the war? I was just reading about that last night. Can you tell me what year that was that you were there? The last 2 numbers will work for me. I know.
I can.
I know with the communicator set up the way that it is right now, you may have to use your own voice.
Wait. Really hard.
Yeah, I know it's difficult. Isn't that the word you had before? Difficult?
Banana. Just dropped.
I normally ask what
Alone?
color is a blue banana to make sure that they can't hear me. That's funny. And it's on a blue screen. That is so funny. Yes, Henry, I did not ask the question because I trust Drew. I didn't feel like he was going to cheat us tonight. So he's truly trying to channel whatever you want to tell us.
Front.
Moving back to the front. Henry, give us an image. Go to the green box. Tell us something more about the war. I know there's a lot of people out here, Henry. I know that's not a big fan favorite for you. Henry, we're running out of time already. We're about 5 minutes in.
Silence.
We do need silence, yes. I know you like when
Something's
it's
starting to happen.
okay. It's weird, isn't it?
It is weird.
They generate and look like they move.
It looks like a dead
9
fish.
or 10.
A dead fish.
Yeah. It's all red. Red and white.
Henry, what's with the red fish?
Air bomb.
2.
Is that what you have on it?
I had air and then bomb.
Probably wouldn't have had
Yeah.
that during the Civil War. Yeah, definitely wouldn't have had that. The planes weren't.
Now that's gone.
Oh, I have air.
That's what I had. Air.
The last one.
Nice.
Read.
Henry,
Aisle.
Henry, what are you
Funny.
trying to push through? What's funny? How about that banana question that I asked? Is it funny? What color is a blue banana?
Down.
Stop.
You say stop. We're not stopping just yet, Henry. We got 3 minutes left.
In. 1.
You really calm down, huh?
The middle.
Henry,
Run.
we're not running either. We're not afraid of you. You weren't a large man, Henry. Henry, you had a certain type of facial hair that you were known for. Can you tell me what that was? What kind of facial hair did you have?
This is deep.
That's not a deep question, Henry.
Just.
Don't know what the word air means. Why did it show up on
Alright.
2 different locations?
It was quick. It was air and then bomb.
I mean, those were literally the last 3 letters that she had. A-I-R.
Hmm.
Spent.
You like read, though.
Hmm.
You.
Henry. Facial hair. What did you have?
I.
Why don't you show us?
Cup.
South.
don't you show us
Pain.
what kind of facial hair you had? Just trying to verify your hair, Henry. I'm not fully convinced yet. We're running out of time.
Is on. What?
Don't let Scott fall asleep in there. Give him another image.
Mila? M-I-L-A.
I don't know who that
Like
is.
us.
Henry,
I think.
I'm still going to stay focused
I
on
swear.
the war. I've asked you several questions. The year that you served in the Civil War, what you did about it. Because you didn't just read about it.
The why. Wait. Every. Now.
Henry, is that noise
Heard.
annoying?
Right now.
I know. Heard it right now.
Holy. This.
Field.
The battlefield? Is that what you're trying to get out? It's a lot of syllables.
The moment you can.
Come on, Henry. Push through this. We're getting respectful. Yep. Scott's getting a little weary in there. Taking deep breaths.
Descend.
And hour.
Henry, we're going to wrap this up. Can you say goodnight to us?
They should.
Henry,
If it doesn't.
one more image. We'll wrap it up. One more image.
Indulge.
Something's coming through.
Ah,
Sometimes.
make a deal with him. He provides. What do we have going on?
41.
It's an old man's face with a black hood on.
Priest? Monk?
Maybe like a monk, yeah.
Okay.
From them.
Okay, Henry, tell us goodnight. Chirps every once in a while. Just so you know. It's a noise, like the channels change. When a loud one comes through, they all go a little bit. It hurts their ears. Henry going once. Last chance. Henry going twice. Alright, I'll withhold up my end of the deal. Go ahead and tap inventory. Scott, go ahead and fill that up your face. Kind of see what we got. All good. Okay, you have a little button next to your volume. Slide it the opposite way. That way it'll turn off the machine. Let's see our images that we got. How you guys feel? How long did it feel like you were under? He heard.
I'm okay.
I don't know, a while.
Felt like it was a long while?
Not terribly. No, actually it is.
Most people will claim they always come out of it and say, why are you pulling me out early? Because they think it was only like 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah.
So we kept you under. It was about 11 minutes under there. Yeah. So let's kind of see